Hey students and parents, for this video we're going to be adding fractions with unlike denominators. The key is to find a common denominator, make sure we have the same terms as we add. So in the example we're doing, it's 2/3 plus 1/4, so we need to make sure we are talking about the same term. So it's not like adding apples and apples. We wouldn't add apples and apples and get pears all of a sudden. We need to add apples to apples, and then we would get a number of apples. Okay, so that's how we sort of need to think about these denominators. All right, like I said, the example we have is 2/3 plus 1/4. We need to look at our denominators and figure out what common denominator we can have. We're going to eventually transfer them over to two other fractions here, but I'm going to pull over here and just sort of list my multiples. I know 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. And I'm going to stop there. Okay, I'm just going to get a general sense. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, now we're going to look for common numbers along this list. So the only one I see is 12. So that means 12 is going to be our common multiple. Okay, we could have kept going and found some other combinations, like when we get down to 24 is where we have our next one. And both of those are common multiples, but the point is that this is our least common multiple. There's no other common multiple here. It'll help us in the end. So we're going to make sure we write our denominators there. Okay, and then the questions I ask when I do this is, how do I get from 3 to 12? Okay, I multiplied something. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. So I multiplied by 4. I'm going to have to do the same to the top. So 2 times 4 is 8. And then how did I get from 4 to 12? 1, 2, 3. So I multiplied by 3. I'm going to multiply the same on the top, because if I do something to the bottom, I need to do it to the top. And 1 times 3 is 3. So now I can add these numerators and leave my denominator the same. Okay, so I'm going to mark my denominator as 12. And once again, like I said previously, when we add 12ths plus 12ths, we're not going to end up with 24ths. It's like 8 apples plus 3 apples. We're going to get a certain number of apples, okay, not a certain number of pears or things like that. So we're talking about 12ths. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So we get 11 12ths. And this is in simplest form, thankfully. If it weren't, we would have to divide both the top and the bottom by something, meaning a common factor of some sort, to find a simpler version of the same fraction. Okay? All right, so a very simple and short video about adding fractions with unlike denominators. It's really key to run through those multiples to make sure that you're finding a common denominator in order to add them and have the same terms. And finally, we didn't have an example today where we needed to simplify, but that's another important step to make sure that you're getting the most accurate answer. There will be other videos in this playlist to figure out subtracting, multiplying, dividing with fractions, as well as mixed numbers. And I think mixed numbers is an important thing to know as well. So see you on the next video.